Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Eric and I like to read, and today I'm going to be going over June new book releases. So I know it's already June. It's only 2 days into June though, so it's not too bad, but I'm excited to share some of the new releases that are coming out this month of ones that I've noticed that seem very interesting to me. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to seeing what you guys think of these new books coming out. I have like a range of genres in here. Some of them are like thrillers, some of them are fantasy. I don't know if I have any rom-com this time, but a whole bunch of different genres. So you'll see as we get through the list of them. Also, let me know in the comments down below if you have others that I didn't mention in this video because I'm always interested to find out about new books coming out. Anyways, let's dive into it. So the first one is a murder mystery called The Woman in the Library. So this one's about a group of 4 different people who are in a library when they hear a blood-curdling scream and then go to find out that there is a woman that was murdered in the like silent room is what it's called. Or no, it's called the reading room. And so the police are doing an investigation and they're like interviewing the different people that were in the library during the day because these 4 people are now suspects since all 4 of these people at one time were in the reading room during the day. So yeah, it's like a murder mystery set in a library and it sounds really exciting. I think that would be a lot of fun. It sounds very similar to One of Us is Lying by Karen M. McManus because in that one, they are all detention students, and then one of the students in detention dies, and then the rest of them are suspects. So it's kind of like a similar premise, but I've never seen it done like in a library before, so that's exciting. Very, very like book lover-esque for all of us book lovers. So yeah, but that one has piqued my interest. Then we have one that I'm sure a lot of you guys already know about. This is a thriller, and this is called The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. So this is following a woman who decides to take up residence in a cabin on this lake. She, I believe, is an actress, and she's trying to just kind of like escape from everything and go to this cabin for a while, have her like bottle of whiskey, and just chill out at this cabin and do whatever she wants for a while. And so she starts noticing this couple across the lake. And so she kind of becomes like a voyeur and watches them all the time. It kind of becomes like an obsession of hers. One day, though, while they're on the lake, she actually ends up rescuing the woman from that couple when she was drowning. And so she saves her life and they become friends. And then from there, she kind of like still watches them, but she's also brought into like their life a little bit because she's friends with the couple, and then the woman from the couple goes missing and things start to get crazy and wild, and so that's all I really know, and it sounds very intense. I also really like books that are set kind of like in secluded areas, and this seems like one where it's kind of like a secluded area. So yeah, I always find those just so intriguing and like what people would do if they were in situations where they were like all alone or not quite all alone out in like desolate areas. But yeah, so I think that one sounds pretty cool. I've personally never read anything by Riley Sager, but I know so many people that think this author is fantastic. And so that makes me like want to pick up some of their books. And this one sounds like one that I would enjoy. So I think that maybe this one would be a good one to have on my radar. Next up, we have this one that I don't really know how to classify what genre this is in, but it's called Cult Classic, and I thought the cover was absolutely stunning. So this is about a woman that's attending her work reunion, and so she steps out to go buy a pack of cigarettes. Now, when she goes to buy the pack of cigarettes, she runs into her ex-boyfriend. That's fine, she interacts with them, goes on her way. But then she runs into her other ex-boyfriend, and another ex-boyfriend. And so it's kind of like this book about her like just kind of interacting with all her past loves before she's like moving forward with her current love, and there might be like something else happening at play as well that we don't know about, but it just sounds really interesting. And yeah, like I don't know what I would do if I was in that situation. I mean, I don't have that many exes, but still, like I feel like it would be kind of weird to see all your exes in like the same day. That's just, yeah, that's not a coincidence, I don't think. But anyways, it seems like a interesting quick read and something that might be of interest to lots of people. Next up, we have The Lies I Tell. And so this is a thriller about a woman who's a con artist and then another woman that was conned by the con artist. So I'm not sure if it's split into two perspectives or not. I think it would be really cool if it is. But in the description, it's talking about the con artist woman and how she lives like lots of different lives. She basically just molds her life to fit whatever con she needs to pull off. And then once she's done, she moves on. And then it's talking about the other woman who was conned by this woman, but knows that she's coming back. And I think it's like 10 years later after she's been conned. And so she's trying to catch her and then go from there. But I believe that they do have some interactions 10 years later, and maybe her thoughts on her start to change, and we don't know why. And so there's more to the story, and it sounds like something that would really intrigue me. I really enjoyed The Girls I've Been, which was about a girl who was the daughter of con artists. And so she picked up like the tricks of the trade and went with it for her purposes. And so, yeah, I really enjoyed that one. So I think that this one would have like a similar style and I would enjoy it too. Then on the same like thriller train, we have The Girl Who Survived. And so this is following the story of a girl who, I think it's like years later, I think it might be 20 years later, she was the survivor of like a massacre out in a cabin in the woods. Her family was massacred, not all of her family, but some of her family, and her brother was blamed for it all and put into jail. And so now her brother is getting out of jail, I think 20 years later, and she's getting like cryptic messages and things are happening, and it's kind of like all coming to light again. And so it's kind of like, will she be the girl who survived twice, because it seems like somebody's coming after her. So it sounds very interesting. It's about a final girl having to go through more crap. So it could be a good one. And yeah, I think it would be a very fast read. Okay, next up we have this one called The Measure, and it sounds really good. I'm going to read the synopsis for this one to give you guys the full effect. But this is definitely one I want to pick up. So it says, it seems like any other day. You wake up, pour a cup of coffee, and head out. But today, when you open your front door, waiting for you is a small wooden box. This box holds your fate inside, the answer to the exact number of years you will live. From suburban doorsteps to desert tents, every person on every continent receives the same box. In an instant, the world is thrust into a collective frenzy. Where do these boxes come from? What do they mean? Is there truth to what they promise? As society comes together and pulls apart, everyone faces the same shocking choice. Do they wish to know how long they will live? And if so, what will they do with that knowledge? This sounds so good. I feel like I would freak out. If I didn't know what it was that I was opening, obviously I would open it because I'm excited to open mail. But if I did know what it was, I don't know if I would open it, because I don't think knowing when you're going to die is a good thing. Like, I don't know if I'd want to know that. I don't know. I don't think it would be good to know. But on the other hand, if you did know, maybe you would like live your life like you always wanted to, with no regrets. I don't know. It's a toss up. Now I'm like talking myself into maybe opening the box. I don't know. But all I know is I would definitely read this book because it sounds amazing. Okay, so the next one is YA fantasy. And so this is called Forging Silver into Stars. This is by Bridget Kemmerer. And I have not read any books by her, but I know that she did A Curse So Dark and Lonely, I think is what it's called. And like, she did that series and everybody loved it. So I'm excited to see what this one has in store. This is the synopsis for it. It says, magic has been banished in the land of Sil Shallow for as long as best friends Jax and Callan can remember. They once loved the stories of the powerful mage-smiths and mythical scravers who could conjure fire or control ice, but now they've learned that magic only leads to danger. Magic is what killed Callan's parents, leaving her alone to raise her younger sister. Magic never helped Jax, whose leg was crushed in an accident that his father has been punishing him for ever since. Magic won't save either of them when the tax collector comes calling, threatening to take their homes if they can't pay what they owe. Meanwhile, Jax and Callan are astonished to learn magic has returned to Sil Shallow in the form of a mage-smith who's now married to their queen. Now the people of Sil Shallow are expected to allow dangerous magic in their midst, and no one is happy about it. When a stranger rides into town offering Jax and Callan silver in exchange for holding secret messages for an anti-magic faction, the choice is obvious, even if it means they may be aiding in a plot to destroy their new king. It's a risk they're both willing to take. That is, until another visitor arrives, handsome Lord Tycho, the king's courier, the man who's been tasked with discovering who's conspiring against the throne. Suddenly, Jax and Callan find themselves embroiled in a world of shifting alliances, dangerous flirtations, and ancient magic, where even the deepest loyalties will be tested. That sounds really good. I'm actually very excited about this one. It sounds like it could be very like plot twisty, and I feel like it's gonna be like one of those like medieval magical political ones, if that makes sense. Not like political in a bad way, but political in like the sense of like different things happening in levels of royalty and how different things are done. I'm just babbling now. I don't. I'm not making sense, I don't think. But I think it sounds good, is what I'm trying to get at. Okay, I only have one more on this list, and this one is called Juniper and Thorn. And this is a retelling of the juniper tree set in like the world of the Wolf and the Woodsman. So yeah, that sounds cool. I think the cover looks really cool, and yeah, I'm just excited for new like fantasy books coming out that are retellings. I'm always down for a good retelling. But anyways, this one says, a gruesome curse, a city in upheaval, a monster with unquenchable appetite. Marlinchen, what a fun name, Marlinchen, and her two sisters live with their wizard father in a city shifting from magic to industry. As Oblia's last true witches, she and her sisters are little more than a tourist trap as they treat their clients with archaic remedies and beguile them with nostalgic charm. Marlinchen spends her days divining secrets in exchange for rubles and trying to placate her tyrannical, xenophobic father, who keeps his daughters sequestered from the outside world. But at night, Marlinchen and her sisters sneak out to enjoy the city's amenities and revel in its thrills, particularly the recently established ballet theater, where Marlinchen meets a dancer who quickly captures her heart. As Marlinchen's late-night trysts grow more fervent and frequent, so does the threat of her father's rage and magic. And while Oblia flourishes with culture and bustles with enterprise, a monster lurks in its midst, born of intolerance and resentment and suffused with old world power. Caught between history and progress and blood and desire, Marlinchen must draw upon her own magic to keep her city safe and find her place within it. That sounds really good. There's so many books that sound really good coming out in June, so I'm very excited for all of these. Anyways, those are all the books that I'm going to mention today. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys have any other mentions of books coming out in June, because like I said earlier, I'm always excited to know about new books coming out. If you guys want to support me, I have a Patreon and a Ko-fi page, which I'll put in the description down below, as well as linked by my bookmarks. You guys know the drill. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that bell notification button so you get notified when I post new videos. I post my videos on Mondays and Thursdays. And until next time, keep on reading.